Hello, everyone, and welcome to the newest edition of The Peyton Doyle Show. I'm Peyton Doyle, host of The Peyton Doyle Show. I hope you all are having a fantastic day today, and I sure am, because this is another week of football, and week one was full of surprises. One game that shocked everyone in week one was the Jacksonville Jaguars upsetting the Indianapolis Colts 27-20. Jaguars quarterback Gardner Minshew had an amazing day, completing 19 out of 20 of his passes for 95% completion percentage, and he also threw for 3 touchdowns. So today, I want to talk about the fun question because we all like talking about Gardner Minshew. He's a fun guy, he's fun to talk about. But the question really needs to be asked at this point, is Gardner Minshew a franchise quarterback? I think that needs to be asked. And there was a lot of talk from many people, including myself, saying that if the Jaguars started off the season slow, that they should possibly tank for Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson, who seems like the clear-cut number one quarterback prospect. But now, it seems as if they may not need to do that. It's funny to me because when Gardner Minshew came in as the backup quarterback last year when Nick Foles went down in week one with the broken collarbone, it started this whole Minshew mania thing, right? And it was like Linsanity when Jeremy Lin was going off for the Knicks, and the Jaguars they were handing out fake mustaches and stuff at the stadium. It was kind of like a big joke, right? It was fun, it was marketable, and it was fun. But then here we are, and we're like, whoa, wait a minute. Gardner Minshew is actually not that bad. Then eventually he got benched when Foles was healthy again. Then he got put back into the starting position, and, Jacksonville was just a whole mess last season. But then, in week one, he comes out and completes 95% of his passes and throws for 3 touchdowns. Gardner Minshew is a quality starting quarterback in this league. He's calm under pressure, he's accurate, he makes good decisions, he seems to be a pretty good leader, and then he's also not really working with too much in Jacksonville. It's funny because Gardner Minshew reminds me of Baker Mayfield if Baker Mayfield was actually good. They kind of have the same look on the field. They have the same body type. They don't have the strongest of arms. Minshew is just the better version of Baker Mayfield. I truly believe that if Gardner Minshew was the quarterback of the 2017 Jaguars, where they had that great defense that made the AFC Championship game with Blake Bortles at quarterback, that the Jaguars really had a chance of winning the Super Bowl that year if they had Gardner Minshew at quarterback. Now, that's just speculation, but who knows? I truly do believe, though, that Gardner Minshew is a quality starting quarterback in this league. Speaking of Baker Mayfield, he didn't look too bad on Thursday night. He looked sharp. That's how I would describe it. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't anything. He looked sharp. He completed over 69% of his passes for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns with an interception, 6 passes. Probably the most important stat of all of this is that he only threw 23 passes. How the Browns offense looked on Thursday night is exactly how the Browns offense needs to look throughout the entire season. I said it this offseason. The Browns offense needs to run the ball. With Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, that's a dynamic rushing offense. Then they use the play action a lot and move Baker out of the pocket, which bought him time to throw. Baker Mayfield is at his best in a play action offense, which is why I am really high on Kevin Stefanski as their new head coach, because the Vikings offensive coordinator last year, that offense loved to run the ball with Dalvin Cook, and 40% of their offensive plays were play action. That Browns offense is going to find their bread and butter in the play action and run game. It's going to look a lot like the 2018 Rams offense when they were killing it with play action. They had a great running back with Todd Gurley. They had great wide receivers, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, and Brandon Cooks. And they had Jared Goff, who thrives in play action. The Browns, they have great running backs, Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They have great wide receivers, Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. And Baker Mayfield is at his best in play action. Now, I will say, Jared Goff throws a way better ball than Baker Mayfield. It's easier to catch for wide receivers. Baker Mayfield kind of does this thing where he puts 100% zip on it always. It's not... This is it. He doesn't have a lot of touch. Baker Mayfield doesn't have a lot of touch on his throws. But he's the big question mark in this whole equation. Because we know Odell and Jarvis are great. We know that Chubb and Hunt are great. But what is Baker Mayfield? I say that this offense is at its best with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt as the main attraction, with just a sprinkle of Baker Mayfield on top. There can't be too much Baker. If Baker Mayfield throws for more than 30 passes a game, odds are that the Browns aren't going to be successful. All the Browns need is a little touch, a little sprinkle of Baker to be as successful as I feel that they can be this year. Now let's get into week 2 preview. Like I do every week, I give you guys my teams on upset alert. And this week, I have 4 teams who I really think are on upset alert. Starting off, I have the Tennessee Titans, who are 7.5-point favorites against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I understand that the Jags defense is probably going to have a hard time stopping Derrick Henry, but A.J. Brown is out this week, which is going to be a huge loss for that offense. Plus, the Jags are playing hungry after a strong week 1 game. That team is going into week 2 with a lot of confidence after that week 1 win. Then next up, I have the Bears, who are currently 5.5-point favorites at home against the New York Giants. It's funny because I actually predicted that the Bears would upset the Lions last week because Mitchell Trubisky always plays well against the Lions. But Mitchell Trubisky is also inconsistent. I also liked what I saw from Daniel Jones in week 1. Despite losing to the Steelers, I feel as if it wasn't for that one boneheaded interception that he threw on the goal line, the Giants had a real chance to win that game. And I also see Saquon Barkley bouncing back this week as well. That's why I have the Bears on upset alert. My third team on upset alert is the Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-point favorites against Atlanta. Week 1, that Dallas Cowboys offense looked mediocre. It wasn't anything really different from last year. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't special. It was not exactly special. There was no dazzling anything. I know they have playmakers all around, but they didn't really do anything. It was just because Dak is kind of in my opinion. Atlanta has Matt Ryan, who is a former MVP, and Julio Jones, who is arguably the best wide receiver in football, and Calvin Ridley, who had a breakout week last week for a huge game. Fantasy owners, 30 points. I'm lucky that I wasn't going against him that week. Todd Gurley also had a quietly solid Falcons debut. The Falcons offense is sneaky good right now, and that's why I have them putting the Cowboys on upset alert. And my final team on upset alert is the New Orleans Saints, who are 5.5-point favorites on the road against the Raiders on Monday Night Football. They are without superstar wide receiver Michael Thomas, and Drew Brees didn't exactly have the most exciting Week 1 performance. He kind of looked like he aged a little bit, much like I predicted during the offseason. Plus, the Raiders' offense put up a big game against Carolina, and Josh Jacobs looks like the real deal. He had 3 total touchdowns last week. He looks like the real deal. And Derek Carr looked extremely accurate, like always. I really think that the Raiders can pull off an upset in their first game playing in that beautiful new stadium in Las Vegas. So that's it, everybody. It's time to go watch some football. Week 2 action is starting shortly. Thank you all so much for watching and or listening. Please make sure to like, follow, or subscribe wherever you may be listening to this podcast. Also, if you haven't, please make sure to go follow the show on social media at Peyton Doyle Show. That is at Peyton Doyle Show. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you have a great week. Thank you.